In this last segment, we'll have a quick look at the Heart of Perfect Wisdom Sutra, also called just the Heart Sutra. This is a famous example of the Prajnaparamita, the perfection of wisdom literature. Scholars believe that this was written somewhere around 300 to 500 CE. So we've gotten quite far from the lifetime of Gautama. And there are some interesting developments in Buddhist philosophy that you see here. The main speaker here is not the historical Buddha Gautama, but rather Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva. The basic point is that the earliest analyses of all observed things, whether selves or other things, into mere collections of the 5 skandhas, the 5 different basic aggregates, that analysis doesn't go far enough. The idea is that there's still something left to crave, to have a strong desire for. And furthermore, there's still a view here, a philosophy, a metaphysics, a theory about what's real, a map of reality. But surely the Buddha was teaching us to get rid of all craving whatever. And didn't he teach that we weren't to have views? He does in some of the early texts say that he's not giving a view, and talk about the jungle of views that one must escape from, and so on. Yet at the same time, he, for all appearances, seems to be giving his own philosophy. This first stage analysis, then, analyzing large-scale things and lasting selves into momentary, basic elements, doesn't go far enough. We have to take the further step of seeing that the 5 aggregates are themselves empty of inherent existence. The point is that all phenomena, all things, here called dharmas or dhammas, are empty. Mahayana expert Paul Williams summarizes the point in this way, quote, "In other words, absolutely all things have the same status as persons, tables, and forests. They are all what we might call conceptual constructs." End quote. Even the basic elements. Some of the Abhidharma texts in the Pali Canon, some of the philosophical texts, had come up with more elaborate lists of what the basic elements are. They went beyond the 5 mentioned earlier. They had lists of 75 or 82 dharmas that they broke down things into. This later move goes against that whole project. The whole realm of samsara, from large-scale things even down to the supposed basic elements, are empty. And here's the really surprising part. They don't really differ from nirvana. It's just a mistake. It's just an illusion to think that samsara is different than nirvana. So the Heart Sutra says, quote, "There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. There is no suffering, no source of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment." End quote. Well, that's an interesting twist. It looks like here we have really a different diagnosis and cure. The diagnosis is that we believe in all the things we experience, and the cure is to see that really samsara is nirvana. Presumably, nothing is really different than the ultimate reality. That seems to be what it's driving at. This is radical and difficult and speculative stuff, but this is fully developed Mahayana philosophy. There's a lot to Buddhist philosophy, and I encourage you to take a course in it sometime and learn about the different arguments that Buddhist philosophers have had amongst themselves, and sometimes also with members of other religions like the Hindus. In our next and final lecture on Buddhism, we'll come back down from the clouds to earth, and we'll talk about various Buddhist practices and experiences. See you then.